Hi guys, Patch Drury, Daimon enthusiast, bliss follower, true will believer, and Dharma specialist. I help people determine what their purpose in this world is and how to follow it. And just to let you know, I have a Patreon where with every video I make, I upload an exercise so that you can take the content of that video and use it to find your true will, to find your purpose, to find your Dharma, to hear the voice of your Daimon. And so, in this video, we're going to be talking about Joseph Campbell and how our Daimon is trying to lead us to our bliss, to our purpose through our interest. And on the Patreon, there is an exercise that you can follow to help determine what your true will is. Okay, so Joseph Campbell, this is an exercise that he did, and it turned out pretty well because most people, I don't know if most people, but a lot of people have obviously heard of Joseph Campbell. He was the world's most renowned, foremost mythologist. He's known for the hero's journey, which is a pattern that he recognized in mythology, and it inspired the creation of Star Wars. And for better or for worse, Star Wars is probably our most well-known cultural artifact at this point. Everybody knows Star Wars. Most people love Star Wars. I won't get into my feelings on Star Wars because that's probably my most controversial opinion, and I really need you guys to like me. Just kidding. I don't care if you like me. But let's talk about this exercise. So Joseph Campbell, he grew up. He went through the Depression, and he was in a pretty good situation going through the Depression. His family was pretty well off, so they weren't kind of destitute. Like a lot of people were. But as we know, in the Depression, there weren't a lot of jobs to be had. So even though Joseph Campbell wasn't struggling for his monetary survival, he was without a job. And so a lot of us, when we don't have a job, we kind of feel purposeless. Even if our job or our occupation doesn't represent our bliss or our Dharma, we still kind of like we need to have something to do with our time, or else we just kind of waste away into nothingness. And at this point, Joseph Campbell was living on some family property in Woodstock, I believe, and he was spending most of his time reading. He was reading a lot, and that was something Joseph Campbell loved to do. But he recognized, as much as he loved reading, he needed a purpose. He needed to have a reason for existing. And I would argue we all do, that when we don't have a purpose, we waste all this stuff that's inside of us, and we become less vital and less directed, and we just kind of wander and waste away, and we waste our lives. And there's so much potential for us to affect people and find joy and change the world in small ways, that when we find our purpose, we're pulled towards those things. And so that's something we all need. And so Joseph Campbell, he's struggling to figure out what his purpose is, and he's going to a New Thought church, which is like a positive mind metaphysics type thing. Not church in the sense of go and worship Jesus, but church in the sense of go and hear people talk about how there's so much power in our minds, and that by being positively by positive thinking and by being healthy minded, we can push ourselves in better directions. And so this church is pastored at by Ernest Holmes' brother. And so Ernest Holmes is one of the leading voices in positive mind metaphysics. And so his brother's pastoring at this church, and Joseph Campbell goes to him and he's like, I don't know what to do with my life. I need a purpose. And so Ernest Holmes' brother gave him an exercise that he could do over 5 to 6 weeks to discover what his purpose is. And if you want to hear about that exercise and you want to try it yourself, go visit the Patreon link. I don't know why I'm pointing over here. The link is in the comments, so it's below me. I don't know what's over here. Probably nothing. But so. And the heart of this exercise, I'm not going to share the exercise because that's on the Patreon, but the heart of the exercise is that it pointed Joseph Campbell in the direction of his own interest. And I think that's significant because a lot of times when we hear, oh, you have a purpose and you need to have a mission and there's a reason you're here, if we've had authority figures or parents in our lives that have been like kind of on our case a lot, then when we hear things like you need, you must, then we get kind of, that bothers us. It feels like more being told what to do. But the great thing about our Dharma, the great thing about the voice of our Daimon, the great thing about our true will and our bliss is that it is rooted in our interest. And so when we do it, when we perform our true will, when we perform our Dharma, it may be work in the sense of we have to work at it a little bit, like it requires time and it requires effort, but it's not hard. It's not painful. It doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel like not us. It doesn't feel like what somebody else wants for us. It feels like what we want to do. And Joseph Campbell refers to it as his bliss. And one of the things that I think is characteristic of bliss is that you stop noticing the passing of time. And we've all had that experience where we're doing something we love and we look up and hours have gone by and we're like, what happened? Where did the time go? And that is the nature of what our daimon is trying to lead us towards, that expression of our skills and our interest that feels so good we don't even notice the passing of time. And so if you don't know what that is, if you don't know your purpose, if you don't know your Dharma, if you've never heard the voice of your Daimon calling you in a direction, check out my Patreon. There is this exercise that gave the world Joseph Campbell, and arguably as a result gave the world Star Wars. So are you the next Joseph Campbell in whatever your category is? Is there the potential for your work and your interest to inspire the next Star Wars in whatever category that is? I would say possibly. So you really can't not do this. The world needs it. So go check out the Patreon. The exercise is there, and thanks for watching.